I've been doing all this deep inner work with my little girl, and I've kind of invited you to look at your little boy and little girl and ask them what they need. Along with my little girl comes a lot of shadow work. And when I say shadow work, I mean that in order to evolve, you need to have a deep love for yourself. You need to have a deep connection with the vertical access, God, your source power, whatever you want to call that. And you need to have the seeker mentality that you know that you are here for a purpose and that you want to dial into what the tip of the spear of that purpose is. And these are the things that drive me every single day. And today what comes up for me is darkness. I feel dark and it's rainy and miserable, so that matches. But I feel heavy and I feel dark. And I think it's really important that when we start to have these feelings come up, we don't suppress them. We don't put on a happy face. We don't deny the way we feel. I don't think you need to drown in it, but I think you need to acknowledge it. You need to acknowledge it. Because the only way to penetrate the light is to really go deeply into the dark. And sometimes going into the dark requires trips to the pit. Requires, for me, it usually winds up with me lying on my bathroom floor sobbing. For you, it may come out in fury. However it comes out for you. But those feelings need to be acknowledged. And also, I think, ask, just like you ask your little girl what he or little boy, what he or she needs in the moment, I think you need to ask the darkness. When you feel it descend, I think you need to ask it what it needs from you. Does it need you to witness? Does it need to be heard? Does it need you to work it out of your body and storm and punch shit and break shit? Does it need you to journal? Does it need you to write out the story? Is it driving you to have to tell someone the story? Ask it what it needs. Because if you don't ask it what it needs, first, a couple things will happen. This is what happens for me. Will either lodge in your heart and get a hook in there and not want to leave. Because, we're all versions of shadow and light, right? It's always shifting. You can choose to live fully in the shadow. I don't know anyone that can stay in the light. That's really that's when you've ascended, right? I mean, maybe certain individuals have, but I think most of us in our humanity shift from shadow to light. And that's the beauty of our humanity, is we have the full scope of both the divinity of pure light and the absolute humanity of feeling absolutely wretched or sublime in our human skin. I think it's such a gift, to be able to experience the gamut. That's what I said yesterday. Even if you feel shitty, as long as you're feeling, you're letting yourself feel. That's so important. You're not numbed out. You're not medicating and sedating, which society provides you so many ways to do. And I'm not trying to say that I don't do them. I do them. But if you are conscious of that and you're looking at that and you're not afraid to sit in the shadow, you have to kind of allow yourself. I don't want you to get stuck and lay there, but sometimes it takes a moment. And the only way to truly grapple, acknowledge the story, work through the story, and then discard the energy of that story. The trigger remains, the outline, the frame of the story remains, but don't fucking drag that content around with you every day. You will never ascend if you don't leave this level of the story that you know. You have to tell a new story. And the only way to tell a new story is to let the old story crumble away. And the only way this old story truly crumbles away is with acknowledgement, vocalization or journaling. And then you've got to make a shift in your body energetically to let go of that old shit. Or you can decide to tell the same stories your whole life. But you do realize that when you give those stories power, you give the lore, the folklore, the mythology of those stories power, they're going to weigh heavily and heavily and more heavily on you. And restrict your movement forward and restrict your freedom. That's really the bottom line. Isn't that why we all do torture ourselves with this self-inquiry? Is we want to be free. We want to be free of our stories. We want an unfettered relationship with God and those that we love. And we want to know why we're here and know that we're contributing in the right way, in a good way, in the way that we were put here to do. And those are my drivers every day. And you know what they require? Occasional trips to the pit. So today, I invite the shadow. I don't know how long she will stay. But she's invited because all sides of you need a seat at that table. And that is what is up for me today. And I will see you tomorrow.